and opinions on that. Tomorrow night is a massive game in the Champions League, the biggest in Arsenal's recent history after the rebuild under the stewardship of Mikel Arteta. How do you see the game, Will? You're a Real Madrid fan. How do you see the game at the Emirates tomorrow night going?
1-1 draw. I think, like I'll be surprised if we beat them at the Emirates. Just to be very honest with you guys, we are trash. We can't defend in transition. We're awful from set pieces. We're actually very lucky that Gabriel is injured, because he might have been the first player to score a hat trick, all from corners, free kicks, whatever it is, because we can't defend it. Just the team this entire season, I can't name more than maybe 4 performances where we've actually looked good. Now, I know that it's the Champions League, and usually that stuff goes out the window, but like, you do have to account the form that the team is coming into it on. And I think with my manager, who's an absolute fraud, we have no tactics. There's no adjustments. It's just the power of friendship and individual brilliance that gets us over the line, because there's nothing else to our game. Like, I can't even tell you how we're going to play tomorrow, because we don't have one way of playing. Like, there's actually no way of playing. We just do whatever we want. The players.
That makes you unpredictable, though, does it not?
Yeah, I mean, it makes it unpredictable, but it's also very jarring, right? Like, we just lost to Valencia.
Yeah, but you were bad. You were very wasteful.
Real Sociedad came to the Bernabeu, Copa del Rey semifinals. We're up 1-0, second leg at our ground. They scored 4 goals on us.
That's
this is the same team that got cooked by Manchester United.
Is it Ozzy Apau? He's the striker, isn't he? Is it Ozzy Apau? Their number 9.
Yes.
He was actually ridiculous.
You
didn't play Asensio against Valencia. You didn't play.
No.
So you centre-back pairing of Tchouaméni and Rudiger. You can't play that against Arsenal. You have to. Asensio's got to come back in.
Who?
You played Tchouaméni and Rudiger, didn't you, against Valencia?
Yeah. But Tchouaméni suspended for this first leg, so he's not available. But it will be Asensio, because it has to be. He's been our best defender this season. I think. Look, how it goes. I think Arsenal will look like the better team for a majority of the game. I think that we score first, and then I think that Arsenal get an equalizer. I think it ends 1-1 first leg, and then I think that we beat them at the Bernabeu. But this is the best time to play us. For anybody that just thinks that because it's Real Madrid, we're going to show up, we're going to put 5 past them, and we're going to just walk out of there with the convincing, then you've not been watching us this season. You're more so just going off of what you expect from us in this competition, but it's not been good.
I hear that. Tom, who do you think is Arsenal's most important player for this first leg tie?
They need to win that midfield battle. They really need to win that midfield battle. And for that reason, I'm going to say it's Declan Rice. Declan Rice is going to be the guy. Because I'm just going by from what I've seen. It's apparently, Valverde's going to have to go to right back. Or Camavinga's going to have to go to left back. They can't play Valverde, Camavinga together. So by the looks of it, Modric is going to have to start. Modric is a legend of the game. But he is quite old now. And he is a little bit slow. And you can bully him. So I think for Arsenal, it's going to be about... Arsenal aren't going to play Real Madrid off the park. Even if Real Madrid are as bad as Will is making out, and it's just Care Bear FC, no tactics, just vibes, they still have the technical quality to beat any team on the planet. Arsenal's strength is in their physicality. They're a very physical team. I think Arsenal needs to use that, and I think Declan Rice is going to be key to setting that off. I would also say Odegaard, but Odegaard's been that bad this year. On paper, Odegaard should be the guy who's able to play the balls in between the lines to get the wingers into the dangerous pockets, but he's been so bad this year that I can't say, he's going to be the guy that Arsenal can rely on. I can't see the wingers because Saka, I know he's back, but he's not 100%. Martinelli, you don't know what you're going to get with him. The centre-backs, I feel like Saliba, one thing about it, Saliba with the job he's got with Kivior alongside him. Kivior's going to need to be guided through that game a fair amount.
Do you not think Timber will play?
And then who else? Ben White.
Kelly and then one side and Ben White the other side.
Ben White's played like 100 minutes since November. You don't play someone who's not played that much football in the Champions League quarterfinal first leg. You've got to
Didn't
go
he
for guys
start
who
against
are ready.
Everton?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, but you could
I feel like
see
that's
he
with him
wasn't
starting
good.
in mind.
I get a lot of what you guys are saying. I don't want to try and guys. I don't want to try and get too far away from what the question was around who's Arsenal's most important. I get the breakdown there. And you mentioned
I talked myself out of Rice and went to Saliba. That's what.
Yeah, no, I hear that. What do you think, Kate? When you think about Arsenal's, the importance for Arsenal to get a positive result in this first leg, who do you think is going to be that key player to help them deliver that? Who do you think has to be at their absolute best for Arsenal to walk away with what I think it needs to be a victory if they're going to have any chance of going through? Who's that key player in your opinion?
I think they've all got to play their best. Something tells me they're going to win tomorrow, Arsenal. But I don't think it will be enough. I think it will be a 2-1, something like that, and only be a 1 goal sort of in it. And I think Real Madrid are a different gravy at their place in the Champions League. It's their competition. But yeah, I think Saka is probably someone that's going to have a really. We all know how good he's been this season when he's played. I mean, had he not got injured, he'd probably be fighting Salah for the Golden Boot. But I think if you get a really good performance out of Saka, they've got a massive chance. But I've just got kind of a feeling that the stars are aligning for Arsenal this year in the Champions League, and I don't like it at all. It's making me really uneasy. But I've just got a weird feeling. But I do fancy him to get to win tomorrow night, but only by 1 goal.
I hear that. Nobbins, got a question for you, a specific one.
Oh my God.
What key one-on-one matchup are you most looking forward to watching?
That's so. I was just about to ask Will, who is your left back going to be?
It's going to probably be Fran Garcia, but he's dealing with like some kind of knock, so
right. So
it might have to be.
So it's your backup left back, and who is also injured.
Yeah, so it could possibly be Camavinga. Maybe you might have to put Camavinga.
Right, Camavinga does play that role. He's very good.
Saka versus whoever's going to play at left back. Then I think that would also answer my question in terms of who's going to be the most important player, because Arsenal are not going to. Before they do, I don't think they're going to win at Real Madrid. So I feel like they have to, unless they want to rely on penalties. And there's a lot of voodoo magic that goes on with Real Madrid, penalty shootouts and whatnot.
There'll be a fucking double kick in this penalty shootout as well for the first time ever.
So if they have a desire to go through, I think fundamentally they must win tomorrow. And therefore, the most important player is going to be someone who's most likely to score them a goal or create a goal. And based on precedent, based on the fact that, all the injuries to Arsenal's attackers, I think that's probably got to be Saka, hasn't it? Especially if, the first choice Mendy is either injured or suspended. I don't know what is. He's injured, and Will's saying that maybe even the backup might also be carrying a knock, in which case Camavinga can obviously do a great job at left back, but he's not a left back. That's got to be the area of focus, surely.
What about, there's another matchup one of the viewers here points out, Henry, Skelly versus Rodrigo. How do you see this one playing out at the Emirates Stadium?
I think that's the most exciting matchup. Rodrigo was rested against Valencia. He's a man for the big moment. I think he's got something like 6 quarterfinals and semi-final Champions League goals.
It's Mr. Champions League, Henry.
Yeah, he's the if Vinny's not on it, he's the man they're going to look at. But Lewis Skelly has just got this. I mean, he's 18 years of age. I think, I don't know why, but I mean, I agree with Kate. I think Arsenal win this 1-0. And I think that the Bernabeu has just got this magic there. But I think Lewis Skelly will deal with him. I actually think that the one Arsenal should be looking at is Jude. Because as from a fullback, they'll go one-on-one, man-on-man marking. But it's who are they going to put in the middle? Is it Declan Rice? Is it Partey? Because Jude making the late runs into the box, the passes in behind. Vinny, I think whoever goes up against Vinny will rattle him. And he's 1 yellow card away from missing the other leg. So I think the aim will be to, and we all know his history, he's easily rattled. Timber, whoever they put either side, I think maybe deals with him. But Jude's the one I look at, and I think, right, if it's Declan Rice, he's up against him, and I think there's only one winner there. I think Jude Bellingham, I've said to all of everyone on TikTok who gives me shit, I think he is going to turn up at the Bernabeu and just do that celebration. in front of all the Arsenal fans, and he's going to be the one. If they stop him, yeah, I think Saliba will be on Kylian Mbappe. I think the fullbacks will be interesting, but Jude Bellingham's the one for me. He's the difference maker.
Did you say that you think that Lewis Kelly is going to lock up Rodrigo?
Well, I think there's no fear in him.
Because that's the matchup right there. Like that for me, like that's our key matchup. Because I think, you know, if Timber's at right back, right? I think Vinicius not winning that Ballon d'Or has just ruined his season because he's been trash since like December, January. Like he's been awful. So for me, right, I know that, look, he usually does turn up in these knockout stages, but Rodrigo, that's the big matchup for me. Because I think that Mbappe is going to also have his hands full with Saliba. So for me, I think if you're Rodrigo, you have to take advantage of Miles Lewis-Kelly. Like, this kid is just getting into the first team, right? He's been on a very fast rise, but like, if he's the player that I think a lot of Madrid fans think he is in terms of Rodrigo, he has to turn up tomorrow. Like,
do you think there'll be any dodgy decision in this game? Like, I mean, you might, as a Madrid fan, you have to be surely you're confident going in against Arsenal. But I just think there'll be some dodgy, controversial. There'll be major VAR controversy in both legs. One, and just because it's Madrid and the influence you've got over the officials, there is going to be some absolute bollocks in this game. We know.
I wouldn't say that we
I
have.
don't think anyone can kind of predict that. I like the Skelly Rodrigo matchup. I love Rodrigo. I disagree with Igals. We're going to play it again in a minute. Combined 11. In terms of, I know Saka has just returned from injury, but if I base it on this season, I'm picking Rodrigo this season. I actually think Rodrigo is the most underrated player at Real Madrid. I think he's one of the most underrated attackers of the last decade or so. I think he is phenomenal. Mbappe and Vinicius get the headlines and all of that. But this is the irony in this. Maybe it's because of my love of Paul Scholes as an example, and I'll explain why. Because there's so many superstars at Real Madrid, some fall through the cracks. They don't get the same hype. They don't get the same media attention. The fact they're not on the front of, you know, FIFA or I don't call it FIFA no more. What's it called? FC 25. They're not the poster boy. They're not the name and the face. And I just look at him and think, I think he's in and around their level. He just isn't getting the media attention.
Well, do you know like what it is, Terry? It's because he plays on the right. Rodrigo's a left winger. Like, anytime that Vinicius is injured or suspended, he cooks on that left wing. But because he is third in like the pecking order, he plays out of position. Like, if Rodrigo, sorry, if he requested a transfer this summer, if he said, you know, I've won a few UCLs, I've won everything here, I want to go be like one of like the main guys, right? If he was to go to, I don't know, like a Bayern or like any team that would allow him to freedom.
Man United. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, well, maybe because I don't think he'd do good at left wing back, but like any team that would let him play left wing.
But bro, for me,
I think that Rodrigo would be in Ballon d'Or conversation.
He would kill it, and that's why when he gets compared to Saka, it frustrates me because if they went to Arsenal, Rodrigo on the left and Saka on the right,
they would cook.
He's game changing, and I just think Rodrigo is. I just find that he is so underrated, and it frustrates me. But I understand the dynamic of it. There's only so many stars a team can have. There's only so many that can do the media conversations. And I don't know anything about him personally. I don't know how unassuming he is. I don't follow most football players on socials. Having said that, thank you, Marcus Rashford, for liking one of our reels on the Football Terrace's Instagram account earlier on today. When I saw it when I woke up, and he shit me pants. I was like, it's Rashford.
He's called far back.